And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thomson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Well, hello and welcome to the Weighing In Podcast. We got a ton to talk about because we had fights from Paris. We got other things to talk about, like my man Josh the Punk Thomson and his new offspring, the Pork. Josh the Pork Thomson. What's up, baby? How you doing?
John was having fun with me on the internet this whole weekend.
No, okay, hold on. And, it's funny because a lot of people said, "Oh man, I can't believe you dissed your partner." I go, "I didn't diss my partner. You guys don't get it." That pig, Josh, we call him Mr. Joshua. And then I said, "Well, it's Josh the Pork Thomson, right?" And so that pig is brought to the farm, and all he'll do, he's never going to be eaten. All he's going to do is be a sexy beast. He's going to sleep, eat, crap, and on all the female pigs. So he is the stud of the farm for the pigs.
Oh, man.
So he's just got to grow into it. That's all. But that's an honor, man. I'm talking about what a sexy beast you are.
I am a sexy beast. We all know this.
See, there you go, man.
We're going to have MCW do us a thing where it says, where we enter the show, Josh
the Pork
Thomson. So you're never going to eat him?
No.
Never. No. Not even when he gets really old and you're like, okay, look, it's kind of.
Oh, God, no, because it's bad. Well, male pigs, when you allow it, because about at his age right here, is you've taken and you've gelded him, you've taken his nuts off, and that way, because the meat doesn't get screwed up, because the testosterone that runs through their system, it makes the meat not real good. So once you decide, oh no, he's living his full life. He's going to live his best life, baby.
Got it.
He's going to have his harem, and all he's going to do is decide when and where he's going to decide, it's time.
Got it. Huh. I mean, he is a sexy son of a bitch. And I saw the dad. The dad's like, what, 1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Dave,
that's Frank the Tank.
You have a picture of the dad? Can you pull it? It's on John's Instagram.
Yeah, I can frame it.
He is the guy that owns it is laying next to him. I mean, he looks like a child.
He's every bit as big as me.
Yeah. He looks like a child, though, compared to that pig.
Yeah, he does.
Look at that thing.
Dude. And trust me, I think Frank's actually gotten bigger than that now. He's just huge.
Jeez.
He is a monster. He just does. But it's funny because people will sit there, that's a boar. And you're going to have people tell you, man, you got to be careful with boars and stuff. Nick there, that 1,000-pound boar is like a puppy dog with him. He'll tell him, sit, the pig sits. Lay down. The pig lays down. He does everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
Nick's an awesome
he knows where
dude.
the food comes from. Comes from that guy.
Yes, he does.
That's
what it's all about.
Got to keep up that lavish body that pig has. So he's like, hey, buddy, I got to be nice to you. You're the one that feeds me.
Grooming that hair, man.
Jeez. So the pig's name is Mr. Joshua.
Mr. Joshua.
I love it. Josh the
Pork Thomson.
I love it. I love it. I feel so honored. I feel like I'm there at the
That's right,
at the farm all the time.
I made him a little water hole right
a bunch
there,
of pigs.
Man.
Oh man! But
life.
He's just rummaging around in the water there. Did you just dig a hole with your backhoe or something and then just pour water in it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I knew you didn't use a shovel. You don't like manual.
Hell no.
You don't
man.
like manual labor.
Use a shovel.
You don't like manual labor.
All right, here I'll give you a little story. Our neighbors on the backside of my farm. I have a 1 acre parcel that runs to the backside of my farm. Runs to the street that's like, if I went to drive it, it would be like 3 miles away, right? Because I got to go out and around the highway and then back to it. And they're really nice people, and they called, and unfortunately their old dog died. They had a big old boxer mix, and he died, and the guy says, they said, hey, do you have anything that can dig a big hole? And I says, yeah. So I come there with an excavator, right? Because they want it deep, because around here you get a lot of wild animals and coyotes and things that they'll dig things up, right? So I go there and I dig a 5-foot hole, and when you dig a 5-foot hole, that's a lot of dirt,
Yeah.
right? And it's sitting there in a mound next to the hole, right? And they're going to wait for their kids to come back because they're going to do this little thing with the kids and stuff. And so I said, And I had to put, the excavator, I had to get a trailer, put the excavator up on the trailer, drive the thing, get the excavator off. It's not like it's simple. So then it's like, hey, that's a lot of dirt for you to move back with a shovel. Mm-hmm. I go, you're going to figure out that after you're shoveling for about 30 minutes, you're going to go, this pile hasn't gotten any smaller. Mm. I go, just give me a call and I'll bring another thing over. So put the skid steer up on the trailer, bring the skid steer to put it down, but sure makes a difference, dude. A whole lot better than putting a shovel in your hands.
When I was a kid, my grandparents not here in San Jose, but in San Jose, they used to have in their backyard was like a lot of trees. They had avocado trees, pomegranate trees, cactuses, oranges, all this other stuff. So every year, my grandfather used to make us dig a huge hole in the back, in the far, far back. And with all the stuff that fell, we'd gather it all up and he'd put it all in there and mulch it all up, and then he'd use it as soil later on.
Compost.
Yeah, but we'd have to dig the hole deep enough to fit all that shit. It was first we had to shovel it all into a wheelbarrow, put it into the hole, and then we'd sit in there with shovels and chop it all up, and then he'd throw some dirt over the top and chop it up more, and then he would use it as compost, whatever it was, throughout the year or throughout the couple of weeks he would do it. Yeah.
That's how you do it.
A lot of work, man. Slave labor. That's why I don't do any hard labor anymore.
Slave labor.
Well, I worked in the fields when I was a kid. I was picking apricots, prunes, climbing trees, snakes everywhere, rattlesnakes. Grew up in the mountains, and it was like sit there forever just cutting apricots, picking apricots, pitting them, dry them, all this shit, and then
get to the point where you hate apricots.
I didn't want to eat them for a long time. Yeah. But it was good times, man. It was like me and my cousins, we'd all be out there every year for about 3 weeks, either picking prunes or apricots or something, man. We did blackberries one year. Like, anyways. All right, well, hey.
Blackberries hurt. There's a lot of thorns.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of snakes around that area, too. So you'd be sitting there on a bench, just pulling from the tree or from the bushes or from the trees, and then all of a sudden rattlesnake come rolling through. It's like, fuck. Yeah. All right, well, hey, let's go ahead and get jumped on this and see what you want to talk. On to Paris. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cyril Gane taking on Sergey Spivac. We actually talked about it. We thought Spivac actually had a good chance. This was not like a walkthrough for Cyril Gane. It was a walkthrough for Cyril Gane. And Josh, it was all about one thing: Cyril Gane attacking the body. All the body shots, no matter what. You take a look. There was a point. I want to say it was somewhere around the 330 mark, 335. So. And that's the point where you'll see Cyril Gane throws a knee, and this is after the first round where he ate the body up. He throws a knee that hits the body, then he throws a right hand to the body, and then a hook to the left side of Spivac. Doesn't look like anything, but you'll see as Spivac turns, all of a sudden he's got this knot, and it's a swelling on his rib cage, and you can see it, and it just keeps on growing, and you're going, oh, he's done. Because you start to get that type of trauma to your body. It just takes everything out of you. You got no gas. You can't extend. Everything is just not working. And shortly thereafter, the fight was over. And it wasn't because Spivac wasn't tough. He was tough as hell. He took some big-time shots. He took a lot of abuse. He could not stop the body attack, and that is what destroyed him in the end.
Yeah, you said that Spivac on the build-up last week, you said he's like a big walrus, and that's kind of what he was. He just didn't have the speed. Yeah. He was just sitting there, and he couldn't command respect because he couldn't get in fast enough. He couldn't get in on the takedowns. He couldn't get in. He couldn't throw his jab and his combinations fast enough to land. Everything that Gane did was he was in, he was out. It seemed like he was athletic. He seemed like he had more power. He was more accurate with his shots. Everything he did, he was just a better athlete that night. He did everything better. The jab was on point, the kicks and the mixing it up, from the thigh kick to the body shots to, throwing the combinations with the hands. Did a great job. Stayed on his bike, circled, stayed out of the way of the big shots from Spivac. I thought it was a masterful performance. But I'm going to keep going with Gane. As long as John Jones is there, I don't see really any of these guys beating him. His ability. I mean, John's a fight IQ, and his talent, everything he brings to the table. I just don't see anyone beating him.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, we got into the, who is it? I mean, like it would be maybe like a Tom Aspinall, maybe the young kid Almeida. I don't know if he's, what is he, like still 30, I think is how old he is. But, you know, these guys young and up and coming, they've got to have more of a body and an athleticism that Gane has, but Gane doesn't have the wrestling to stop it, and we saw that already. But outside of Aspinall and Almeida, there was one other person in the heavyweight division that I was thinking of that I think would probably give him a good go. Who was it? Oh, up there, Pavlovich, you know. But we'll see. A lot of these guys.
Pavlovich hits hard.
Yeah, he hits hard. You know, he's got decent wrestling. He's got decent sambo. It's not bad. But I just think like he wasn't able, and this was back in the day, he wasn't able to stop Kane's takedowns or DC's. And so I'm thinking John Jones he's got wrestling, man. He's got the ability to snatch the leg, and he's got the ability to lift and, you know, and dump. So I don't know. He's going to be tough for a lot of these guys to fight. So outside of, I just don't know what Gane does as long as John Jones is around, because I don't think he has the ability to stop those takedowns.
Well, he proved it in the first match he wasn't able to, and it's going to take, no matter what, it's going to take time for him to be able to get a shot back at that, you know, fight, the rematch with John. It's going to take at least another couple of fights for him to get to that point. So that's a year and a half down the road. You look and you go, Cyril Gane he's trouble for a ton of people. But Aspinall called him out. You know, if you recall, when Aspinall won his fight, he says, I want the winner of Gane Spivac, and then I want John Jones. So basically, the work's been done for the matchmakers as far as Gane did his job. He looked great. Aspinall did his job. He looked great. He's already called out Gane, and it's an actual right fight. If you're looking at, you know, the whole thing, Aspinall sitting there, you know, just a couple below Gane, it's the right one to match up. I mean, the guy who's sitting there in nowhere land right now is Pavlovich. He doesn't have an opponent, and you know, in November you got Stipe versus John. You know, that's going to take, you know, time afterwards for Pavlovich to get his shot. So he's just kind of sitting there in nowhere land. The question is, what do you do with him?
You let him sit unless he wants to fight, you know, someone like Gane or Aspinall. That's what you do. You let him sit. You wait for your title shot. I think he probably prefers that. It's just sitting around waiting for his title shot, try to get better. I feel like the heavyweight division is where boxing heavyweight divisions was when it was the Klitschko brothers. It just is. It's going to be stale right now. You have the guy at the top where he's the most athletic. He's probably the best fighter. And then when Klitschko was the champ, they didn't fight very often. And John doesn't need to fight very often because he makes so much money. You know what I mean? So it's like he can pick and choose when he wants to fight. Like there's nothing really on the horizon right now for the heavyweights. When is their fight supposed to happen? November
11th.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know, that's going to take, you know, you have what, 2 more months till then. And then you have, then after that fight, he's going to take some time off. They're going to get the next thing going. And then he was talking about that he may even retire after he beats Stipe. I can't imagine. I can't imagine him retiring. I'm like, you go to the heavyweight division because it can prolong your career because you're better than all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. You don't have to worry about them being faster than you or more athletic than you because you're faster and more athletic, and then you're the same size as all of them. Like, you know, I don't know. I look at it. He could be there for a while into his 40s.
He could
into his 40s,
but
we'll see.
But again, there's a balance because there's got to be that fire, you know, and you've got to have that motivation. And there was no doubt when John was looking to be a heavyweight, there was motivation because I want to prove that I can be the heavyweight champion. That's motivation. That's great. Now he's got he actually has motivation because he looks at Stipe as, all right, here's a guy who held the belt longer than anyone, defended it longer than anyone. He's one of the OGs, you know, that I have a chance to, you know, go against. I want Stipe. Okay, I understand it. Once Stipe's, you know, and let's be honest, Stipe's the underdog in the fight. If he gets past Stipe, where's your motivation? because now you're sitting exactly where you were at when you were at the light heavyweights. Is you're the target. You have everyone wanting to shoot at you. And how much motivation do you have to get ready for that?
I don't think he's exactly where he was at the 205s, because at 205s he had went through the whole crew, and there was like a whole other batch that came along. It's hard to stay motivated after you've beaten all the legends, you know. And it's like, and I get Stipe is a legend in this sport in the heavyweight division, but he still has plenty of guys that should be able to get him motivated that are new blood. In the light heavyweight division, he was having to go back through and fight the same guys. I mean, he fought DC 3 times, correct? I mean,
but DC's of that ilk that you look and you go, that'll get you motivated. They had heat. They didn't like each other. You know, there was the fact that DC was, you know, a guy that had won, you know, titles. He was a guy that, you know, that's a guy that can motivate you. It's tough when, you know, you're looking and you go, hey, you know, is Tai Tuivasa a tough fighter? Yeah, he's a tough fighter, man. That's a tough dude. But other than being a tough dude and a brawler, what does he bring as far as he brings fans as far as the shoey and stuff? But for you as John Jones, how do you get motivated for that fight? It's tough.
Well, you're picking somebody that's never going to get up to fight for the title, John. That's and I like Tai Tuivasa. I know he is. I get it. But we're talking about, you know as well as I know, it's going to probably be Almeida. It's going to probably be Curtis Blades, may make it back up there. It's going to be Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane and Pavlovich. Those will be the 4 that I see him getting motivated for. I don't think anybody, I think those guys will wipe out the division. And then that's it. That'll be their athleticism, their ability. And I haven't even seen enough yet of Almeida to say that he's going to be able to get past somebody like a Tom Aspinall or something, or past maybe like someone like a Curtis Blades. I mean, we haven't seen enough of him yet. But he's talented. He's good. He's built like he should be able to handle all this stuff. His great jiu-jitsu. He's getting better on the feet. He's got to get better on the feet if he's going to fight someone like John Jones or Tom Aspinall or Pavlovich. He's going to have to get past. He's going to have to get better all the way around. But he's still young and he's ranked number 9. I look at those guys. Those are the ones that I could see John Jones having to fight, and those are the ones that I see him getting motivated for. But once you get past that, I agree with you. I look at guys like Tai Tuivasa, and I love Tai Tuivasa.
I love him. He's awesome.
I look at guys like Derek.
Fun to watch.
I look at guys like Derek Lewis. You got to respect him because he can knock you out in any moment. But athleticism wise, I mean, he's athletic for a big monster of a man. But John Jones is he's just a better fighter.
It's just a level of.
Those are the guys that I think that John Jones would have a hard time getting motivated for. Like a Volkov, he'd have a hard time getting motivated for that. Spivac, from what I saw last night, he'd have a hard time getting motivated for that. You know, but the guys like an Aspinall who were already chirping, they were already had a little bit of back and forth on Twitter, I think it was. And it's perfect. I think it sets it all up. I mean, I think the way to get John Jones motivated is to do this little bit in the mic. Is, you know, if you want to fight the best John Jones.
Bring up his name and say you can beat him.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. He doesn't like that. Overall though, I wasn't with the fight itself. It just wasn't. Spivac never got going, and when he showed him too much respect. He just couldn't get in there, and it was all of a sudden now he was on his back foot.
But see, you got to give credit where credit's due. Gane created all of that. Yeah, he had good movement. His footwork was clean. He bladed his body well, and he was smart with his. I don't know what the punch stats were, but combined as far as kicking and punching, I would say it was 50% to the body, 50% to the head. He went to the body at an incredible rate, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. It made Spivac become just, oh, there you go. Look at that. Look at podcast data. It's got zeros.
Because they keep it all updated. It's funny.
I love it. That's not your fault that it has zeros, Dave. I can't believe it. That's awesome. Well, it's 110 strikes, 70%. Mm-hmm. He landed at 70%, Josh. Come on.
Well, like you said, Spivac was like a big walrus that just sat there and just got hit.
Yep. He couldn't figure it out. He could, and it was damaging him enough that he didn't want to come into it. Every time he did come into him, he took a shot and was unsuccessful in getting to where he wanted. So it was like, And that just, it starts to snowball on you. And then you don't want to come in. And you saw that as the fight went on because, Cyril Gane was moving. He was lateral movement, circling. He would go back. Spivac was kind of chasing him a little bit. And you saw how it turned. And then all of a sudden, Spivac's back was on the cage. And why was Spivac's back on the cage? Because he had no answers. He was getting hurt. So, but, go up with that real quick. Hold on. Let's see. I saw landed by target. Target. Go down.
Oh, go down.
There you go. Look at that.
Oh, to the head.
35%.
Yeah.
44% head, 35% to the body. Very close. Yep.
Yeah, he's good with a little thigh kick. And what I like is he uses his foot inside out, too. So he'll kick to the outside, but then he'll just stay in that bladed stance and just kick to the body like almost like a little snap kick to the body, which is pretty slick.
And if you look at this, and when it says landed by target, you combine the body and leg, that's now at 55%. So more to the body and leg than he did to the head. That's what I was talking about. He was fantastic at going downstairs to the body, to the legs, and just eating him up. And it was a great performance by Gane. You cannot in any way take anything away because we know Spivac's a good fighter. He's a tough dude. And he does have a certain skill set that, man, he can be very successful. Gane took that all away.
All right, next fight.
We had Manuel Ferro against Rose Namajunas. What did you think of this fight? I'm going to let you go first. Go ahead.
I thought Ferro was just the bigger fighter, and all of her shots had a lot more impact on Rose. And I think
too strong.
I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's not. Maybe somebody on the outside thinks this as well. I feel like Rose Namajunas is like sabotaging her career. Like, what are you doing? Like, she is so talented, and you are considered to be one of the best in the 115-pound division. Why are you going up? Maybe, okay, you want for one fight. I hope you go back down because you could be the champ again. I mean, if you want to get motivated, you want to stay motivated, whatever it is. I just feel like she's sabotaging herself. Like, she doesn't know how to handle the success, or she just doesn't want to have the success around her.
I don't know. That's what you just said right there. I'm not too sure. And look, there are people out there like this, and there's nothing wrong. I'm not going to say there's something wrong with it. Success to them is more of a hindrance. It becomes a problem. They don't like everything that comes with it, so because it just overloads who they are. And it may be that, she's just not comfortable with that. She she fought her ass off. I give her credit because she was tough in some areas where I saw her get hurt. I saw that, some of what Ferro had hit her with, it hurt her, but she kept marching forward. She had the broken finger in the beginning. You could see, her finger sticking out, and she wasn't using the hand. Then she started using it. And it's like, it was kind of funny. The Pat Barry is, yes, she comes and she says, I broke my finger. And he goes, you don't need your finger to fight. Okay. No, he's right. But you got to take a look at it because maybe it's just sitting and displaced as far as the dislocation. You can put that back pretty easy and make it to where, the hand is much more usable than when it's sticking in an odd position. But he really didn't even look at it. I was kind of surprised by that during the break and stuff. But I agree with you. There's something there. First off, Rose is just a phenomenal fighter. And she's got a phenomenal skill set. She's quick. She's got beautiful footwork. The way she moves laterally, the way she comes into her opponent, it's there. I don't know mentally if she wants to be there, though.
Yeah. That's where I'm at, too, with her. I think a lot of it is, I don't know, maybe going up was a challenge. But I think when she got in there, she realized it was a mistake. I saw the two of them at the weigh-ins, and I'm like, man, Rose, you look tiny. You look tiny. Yeah. And then when I saw him in the cage, I'm like, okay, I thought maybe she just sucked down a little bit, or maybe she let herself get a little out of shape. No, physically, she's just a smaller person.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that. And then the shots that she took some big shots.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Oh. Excuse me.
Oh,
Yeah. And she took some big shots. And it was, and you could see the look on her face was a little bit of that concern, like, shit, what did I get myself into? And the broken finger or dislocated finger, I can relate, man. The Benson fight happened in the first round. It's like you're just thinking, shit, really? This is happening to me right now? Come on. And it sucks. And I know she was thinking to herself, man, I don't want to throw it. It hurts. I understand that feeling.
it does.
But she's talented. Her footwork, the way she makes up her combination, you could tell she has some power because Fro had to respect her a little bit in some of those exchanges. So
Fro took some steps back at times, going like, damn.
And with Rose, at 115, I could see her being the champ. She's beaten the champ already twice. So I don't understand. I don't get it. Do they just not? I don't know. I'm wondering if there was some sort of fallout with the UFC after the Carla Esparza fight. Because Dana came out publicly after that fight and said that was fucking trash. Like it was He called both of them out. But.
Well, if you recall, her corner came to her defense and saying, look, that she fought the exact fight that we planned out. And it was like, okay, then on you got to figure out that wasn't a great plan. Mm-hmm. You can't have a fighter just be defensive. You can't have a fighter just dodging a certain area of the fight, especially when she's got talent there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it could be that she had, I don't know, but mentally, and Rose has always looked in that way. At times it's like she doesn't seem super confident because she doesn't do any of the braggadocious stuff. She doesn't, she stands there for a face-off, doesn't say a word, shakes her opponent's hand, walks off. But this time especially, she just looked like she didn't want to be there.
No, I agree.
I could be wrong in reading it too, though.
I was thinking the same thing, John. I was thinking the same thing. Felt like she just didn't seem like she was. I felt like it was a sabotage for herself and her career. Just like, let me just go up. I'll see what happens, and like almost like no interest. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next fight.
Oh, we had Benoit Saint-Denis against Thiago Moises. This was a great fight. I'll tell you what. Again, I had someone say, you didn't give Saint-Denis enough credit. It's like, the hell, I didn't give him credit. I said it's tough because I thought Moises probably was the more skilled fighter, and I did. Overall, I knew how tough Saint-Denis was. I didn't think he would be able to just walk through a lot of what was happening. But he took, and look at, let's be honest, he took some chances there.
Oh, yeah.
He was open, and he got hit. And you need to close that up a little bit. I love the output. I love, the ability to say, I'm just going to bite down and go after it. But it only takes one, and you got to be careful with it. But Saint-Denis is proving, and I thought they said it right. Look, he's the real deal. He had the one fight in Abu Dhabi. He got beat. But other than that, man, he has been on fire. And he looks good. His stand-up looked good. A little bit too much brawling. Too much brawler-esque, as far as just opening up. But I was impressed that he had the confidence to take Moises down. He was not worried about the jiu-jitsu. And when he opened up, man, and he went after him, look, he was putting shots. And I'll give Thiago Moises a lot of credit, man. He took some big shots, and he kept fighting back. But the pressure of Saint-Denis and the way that he went about that fight, how many more you're going to see? If he gets a couple more big wins there, he will be in that title contention. And he's talking about getting the belt, and we'll see. But mentally, that dude is strong.
Yeah, Saint-Denis, man, I owe you an apology. Last week I was talking about how Moises was the better fighter. He had more experience against top-level competition. Yeah, he's got the wrestling to take you down, control you from the top. And I thought, on the feet, I thought Saint-Denis had the advantage, but I also thought that Moises was good enough on the feet to get him into the takedown positions, get to the top. He just didn't fight smart. And I'm not taking anything away from Saint-Denis, but he just dominated from beginning to end. He came out, imposed his will right off the bat. He didn't take a step backwards. He didn't take any steps back. He pushed and made Moises fight off your back foot. That fight right there let me know that no matter how good Thiago is, he's good when he's the hammer. He's not good when he's the nail. There was that. And then on top of it, he's not good. He can't fight backing up.
He can't go back.
He doesn't know how to fight going back in, and he doesn't know how to fight backing up.
That might have been Saint Denis, camp. They looked and said, "Hey, this guy does not do well when he's taking steps backwards. I want you to put pressure on him and make him move back." Great game plan, if that's what it was, because he dominated the fight. He looked great and he performed beautifully. And he's got a gas tank. The guy does it. A lot of output. Wasn't tired.
Yeah.
So.
No, I thought it was a great fight. Thought a great performance by Saint Denis. I thought Moises just showed a lot of holes in his games that I wasn't aware of. I didn't realize that he didn't know how to fight backwards. He didn't know how to fight going backwards. And when he did, his back hit the fence. He didn't know how to get out of there. He didn't know how to change it. He squared up with his back against the fence and tried to throw shots from there. I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do. Like, you want to stay bladed a little bit more. You want to circle,
turn, get off of that,
step off line and tuck behind, push the elbow by, whatever it is. He just wasn't. He got lost when it was there. I think he thought he was going to come out and dominate the positions in terms of the wrestling. I think it also threw him off when he got taken down. He's like, wait, what the hell? I'm the one getting taken down. This is what the hell? So, but I thought it was a great performance by Saint Denis. Great job.
Yep. Volkan Ozdemir took on Bogdan Guskov. Look at Ozdemir, man. He's the mystery guy. You just never know which guy's going to show up and how he's going to fight. And we knew that Guskov has power. He can swat. He's got a lot of knockouts too, but it says submission rear naked choke, and it was. He got the back, took the choke, but it was the hands that set everything up. He was hurting Bogdan with his power, put him down, hurt him on the ground, then got the back. But it was really nice to see that Ozdemir went for a takedown, man. You see his takedown? Josh, he got a takedown. Hey, that was great.
I mean, he's getting better. He's getting himself. He's making himself more well-rounded. All the guys that he's fought before, the guys that were able to beat him, were the ones that were able to get him down. Yeah, put him on his back. And so there's something there. He looks like he's got heavy hips, like the thick thighs, the trunk legs.
Thick he looks thick everywhere.
Yep,
he's a big dude.
I bet that when he has that top position for ground and pound, I bet you he's not easy to sweep or easy to get off of you because he's just got a thick trunk, man. His thighs and his ass and he's got kind of like a thicker waistline. I feel like he's just somebody that when he's on top, it's going to be hard to get underneath him and sweep or elevate to get him up off you. So good on him to try to elevate his game, but Bogdan just had too much pressure. The shots were landing clean. I don't want to say
he had a couple. He landed a couple, but just not enough to stop what Ozdemir was doing. And then Ozdemir's got power. Yeah. If there's one thing we all know and we've seen in the past, like if he puts a good shot on you, he's got power. He can hurt you, and he showed it in that fight.
Next fight.
All right, we had William Gomez against Giannis Gamori. I got a bug.
Oh yuck. A little extra protein.
It wasn't a bug, but this one ended in a weird way. I know a lot of people were upset.
It was so stupid.
Okay, so what was your opinion of it? Look. For 2 rounds, let's be honest. I'll give Giannis credit, and I told you, I've seen him fight. He's tough. He doesn't stop. He keeps on coming forward. He keeps on, looking for ways to get past whatever's occurring, and I've seen him do it. But Gomez, we thought, was the better athlete, cleaner striking, going to be tough for him to get to.
Longer reach.
For 2 rounds, Gomez, he won the 2 rounds easy. Goes into the 3rd round, and then we had the kick.
This is why. I put a tweet out. I'm like, this is why promotions bring some of the top level referees. Because in these local areas or in different, wherever you're countries, they just haven't had enough experience, especially in France where the sports just become legal.
And people have no concept of the pressure. There's pressure to go in there and fight, but you're responsible for you. When the pressure that's on that referee, people, there's no ability for you to put someone in that place and make them understand. But I used to tell athletic commissions all the time, and stuff. It was, look, I'm not telling you not to use that person based upon, whatever he's done for you in the past. All I'm telling you is you put him in that fight right there that you want him to be in. When he steps into that cage and is just standing there waiting for the fight to start, his heart rate's going to be at about 145 to 150 beats per minute. I go, that means that he's not able to make good decisions, especially right there at the start. Now, he may settle down, but at the beginning of that fight, his heart rate's going to be super high because everything is about, don't screw this up. Oh my God, everyone's seeing, I'm here, I'm in charge. I go, he's overwhelmed. And it's all self-induced, every bit of it, all self-induced, but it definitely has an effect on their ability to make quality decisions. And you see guys screw up all the time because of it, but I'm not saying that's what happened with that guy. Was so far in the fight, he should have been just fine. But the question was, did the kid, and I'm so tired. Josh, what's the rule for, is it a low blow?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, for what?
There is no fucking foul in MMA for a low blow.
Why are you cursing at me?
I'm not cursing at you.
What do you mean?
Just,
what do you mean? There's no foul
I listen to the commentators, and it's like, if you guys would do me a favor and just please learn the damn rules.
Well, okay, no, explain it to me. What do you mean there's no foul for a low blow?
There's no foul in MMA for a low blow. When you say, oh, that's below the belt, that's another comment they make. Mm-hmm. Okay? Can I hit you below the belt?
In MMA, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All over the place.
The legs.
What I can't hit is the groin. It says no groin strikes, no groin attacks. Okay? Because the groin itself is the target that we say you can't touch. But everything around it, in the hip area, below the belt line, all that stuff, it's all good. All of that is good. Does the weapon hit the groin? Now, that you can hit the groin off of a straight shot, we see it all the time, or we hit it off of, I hit a legal area and the foot sweeps into the groin. Again, it's a groin strike. It's a groin. You can't hit it. In this instance right here, was the first part of the kick legal? Yes. It did hit towards the hip. But what happened with the foot? What did it drag into? You can see it. It moves the cup. What hits the guy's nuts? The cup. I'm not saying, and this is where fighters need to be smart, because you can take a look. He does the whole, and everyone's going to get a reaction. Mm-hmm. How ready are you to fight? 10 seconds. 10 seconds from the moment he was hit until the moment he's acting like, he's fine. But man, you got to be in. Don't try to get something that you sit there and play the game or anything like that. If you're hurt, you're hurt. Take your time. But in this instance, that referee looked and said, nope, it was a legal blow. Unfortunately, the referee was not of the ilk to go. Look, you have a replay official who's right there. If you're not sure, call timeout. And look, I've been in these situations where I've called things and I knew that the groin wasn't hit, but overall, I understand why the fighter is feeling the way they're feeling. So you got to look and say, you have that replay official, go to the replay official. Did that move the cup? Did it touch the cup? The replay official sees that it moves the cup. And he's going to say, yes. Okay. We've got time. 5 minutes. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Take your time. Get yourself ready. Let's put him back into the fight. I'm not saying that, Giannis was going to win the fight. I don't think he was, but it shouldn't have stopped the way it stopped. It shouldn't have stopped on a call that the referee made. It's within his power. It's his right to make it. But when you have situations in that, he looked and said, you know what? He told him fight. And that was one of the things, Bisping was sitting there saying, you just tell him to fight. He did. He did. He was telling him, hey, fight. And Gomez is kind of walking off, and Giannis is kind of walking off in a different direction. And that's when he decided to make the call on that. All he should have done is gone to time, replay official, tell me, did that touch the cup? That would have put him in a better position to know exactly, did he have the right call? I'm going to end this fight, or does he have the wrong call and he needs to give the guy time? Makes sense?
No, it does. It does make sense. But I mean, when people get kneed in the head, when people get kicked in the groin, I want to point out, like you did, it was within seconds he felt a lot better.
Yeah.
You know, and so a lot of fighters have this tendency to milk a situation so much and sometimes win championships that way. But it ends up being, and it lets you know that, like, fighters, almost all of us wear steel cups. You're not feeling shit through that. Sometimes there's a little pinch on the edge, you know, but you're not.
Or it can move up.
Yeah.
If it's a tie cup, it shouldn't move that much.
Yeah, because it's pulled between your ass cheeks and tied nice and tight.
Which is why a lot of guys don't like to wear it. Let's just be honest.
Fuck, I can't imagine my career without one. Jeez.
It was something I always looked and said, why, when you have the ability to make it to where it can never be an issue for you, do you not make it that way?
I mean, shit. Yeah, I bought the extra large one just so it could hold my package. But
Shoney Carter had one hammered out. Remember Shoney Carter?
It was huge.
Dude, he had a salad bowl.
It was awesome. maybe he had enough salad to fill it, but
maybe he had salad and tomatoes. I don't know, but
great.
I'll tell you what, he had a big one.
That guy's great, man. No, it was
awesome.
Somebody else that I knew trained with one like that, and anytime you got your back, fuck, it hurt.
Oh yeah,
it hurt.
Oh yeah, you see guys that Shoney used to use it. He would use it as a damn weapon because he would put pressure, and just ride into you. And it's like, oh, that's not good.
That north-south position, just hump the head. Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Any other fights on here you want to talk about?
Yeah, I thought Morgan Chaudhry, who looked fantastic against Zacchini. Morgan Chaudhry, if you watched his career, he's just gotten better and better. A lot of his losses were in the beginning. Mm-hmm. He has become he would get taken down and kind of stifled in the fights. He is now able to stop the takedowns. His stand-up is clean. That was a beautiful. I love body attacks, and I love when a guy hits the body and then doesn't go right to the head. He goes right back to that body because, Josh, and you get hit to the body, go ahead and punch me in the head. I don't want to get hit to the body again. And, man, he went right back almost to the same spot. You look and you go, oh, dude, beautifully done. Just a beautiful knockout, because it's a knockout through body blows. Unbelievable, just as far as the technique that he used, how, his accuracy. I love that fight, and I love the way that he handled that. Yeah,
the finishing there, he kicked to the body, and as the guy was getting up, he kicked him again to the body. Instead of aiming towards the head or doing what you're saying, like his hand was still on the ground, he kicked him again to the body. And I was shocked because most fighters won't take that chance of throwing a body kick while the guy's getting up, because if they turn the wrong way and you kick them in the head, you're in a lot of trouble. So
you can get yourself a loss when you're going to have a win.
Yeah. So I thought it was very well played. He hit him with a nice body kick in the beginning, and then he went back to it and kicked over the elbow. Very nicely done. And even those ones still hurt. When you get kicked to the body or hit to the body, anything that grazes that area again, it hurts. It makes it even worse.
Just pushing your arm into it. Sucks.
Yeah, and then I thought also Basharat looked good. I thought he looked phenomenal.
He did.
He
looked really
I have
good.
high expectations for him. He's going to be good. He's going to be good. Yeah. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And John, go ahead and give us this read, buddy.
Well, we'd like to talk about that we are the first podcast that went with OnlyFans, but OnlyFans is something that we are partnered with in trying to get more people into looking at OnlyFans, because they're big into combat sports. They're big into boxing, big into MMA. They got a lot of fighters that they support, a lot of fighters that they sponsor, people that you can go online with and you can actually talk to them about techniques, all these little things that you can get a personal one-on-one possibly with that fighter that you appreciate their skill set. We're talking about people like Chris Cyborg, Michael Venom Paige. Oh my God, the Mercenary, AJ McKee, all kinds of phenomenal fighters. Charles Oliveira, they're there for you and they are available. So a lot of people look at OnlyFans as, that's where, you can look at girls. Yes, you can, but there's a lot of other things there too. And that's what we're here for, is to bring other people to OnlyFans to understand that they are one of the leaders when it comes to combat sports. That's where they want to be known for.
Yeah, they do a lot of great things for like their OFTV. They'll do features on the fighters. Michael Venom Page has one out. Chris Cyborg has one out. I know that they're talking about doing another one on another fighter coming up, which I can't talk about. But it's not just that. They're sponsoring Formula One. They're sponsoring different types of leagues in basketball. They're working with all different types of athletes. When they originally had started, they were meant to be almost like a Patreon, where somebody had come on the platform that had material that they wanted to sell, whether it was techniques in jiu-jitsu, whether it was kickboxing, whether it was showing you how to set up, your Formula One car or your NASCAR or whatever it is. Working through stuff that people wanted to market and sell their knowledge. And that's what it was originally going to be. And then COVID hit, and what you saw was a lot of people within the porn industry went there, and they basically took it over.
And they did very well.
But they did very well. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of other athletes on here, and it's a place for female athletes to go after they're done fighting or while they're fighting to make extra money. And it's not all smut. Like, that's the other thing. It's not all smut. You've got a lot of top level athletes there that are whatever, just interacting more with their fans on however they want. And they have the control to interact with them however they want. So head over to onlyfans.com/weighing in, onlyfans.com/weighing in. John and I will post randomly on there. We do live chats on there as well, so you can check it out. But it's only available there. It's subscription based, but we don't charge for our subscription. And just head on over there. We appreciate you guys supporting us. Head on over there. We got extra content on that platform that is not available anywhere else. Only on onlyfans.com/weighing in.
And we might even put some pictures of Josh, the Pork Thompson, sexy pictures on there for you.
I love it. All right. Well, what else you got for us, Dave?
Yeah, so I wanted to get your reaction to a couple of things in this that all encompasses this Jake Paul PFL thing that's going on, and then the purchase of Bellator supposedly, and then a couple other things. So here's what I wanted to get your reaction to. So Sportico puts out an X, I guess you call it now. Shares of WWE and UFC parent Endeavor Group fell on Thursday. Heavy volume and apparent reaction to Saudis investing $100 million into MMA upstart league PFL. Jake Paul responds to that tweet and says, "It's not sustainable to pay fighters less than 20% of revenue and fully control their services like they are employees. Fighters are the IP, pay them or free them. They put their lives on the line for you to make money. Oh, and there is a class action lawsuit, big business." So that kind of happens, right? Stock's down for Endeavor. Jake Paul responds about fighter pay. And then there's an additional report that PFL is actually looking to buy Bellator for as much as $500 million, when I think before they were talking about $100 million. So a couple of things there. Let's get your thoughts on all of it, as you please.
Do I go first?
Go first.
Let me open my big mouth first. All right, let's go down the list of what Dave brought out here, because there's a couple things. First off, the whole thing with the shares, dropping for the UFC and WWE and stuff like that. Shares are going to go up and down.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, do you know what the latest value of the UFC was put at?
I don't. I thought it was like 9. I thought it was like 9 billion, 8 billion.
9 billion for the WWE.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
And 12 billion for the UFC.
No way.
Okay, I swear to God.
I would have thought that the WWE would be worth more.
I would have thought so too. I'm being honest. I would have thought, but I'm being honest. That's the numbers that I saw.
Interesting.
I want to say it was 9.3 billion for the WWE and 12 for the UFC. So let's just say the UFC is not losing anything right there. when you sit there and you say it's not sustainable for to pay fighters 20%. No, Jake.
Yeah.
That's how you stay sustainable because the less you pay the fighters, the more that goes to the company. And that's how they're making money, and they are making money. And that's, their business model works for a company to be successful. I'm not saying it's the fairest all the time, but it works for the company to be successful. So to sit there and say, oh, you pay them more and, you'll be better off. It's not true. I would like to see them get more. I want to see the fighters get paid more, but what they're doing is, very sustainable. Class action lawsuit, that is out there. It will be there for for more years too. So no big deal. When you look at, because Saudi money comes into the PFL, does that affect anything with the UFC? No. Oh, sorry. Doesn't affect them at all. I think it's great that the PFL got an investment through some Saudi investor and stuff like that. Good for them. The whole thing when it comes to the Bellator thing, yes, they're trying to buy Bellator. Are they going to do it? We still don't know. We work for Bellator. What do we know? We don't know anything.
Well, anyone that tells you.
I would like to sit there and be able to tell people, but no, I don't know.
Yeah, well, anybody that tells you they know, they don't know.
I've heard
we've heard it all.
So many stories.
Yeah, we've heard it all.
Oh my God.
I agree with you. The 20%, you're not paying them, the revenue of 20%. That's how they've been able to stay in business.
Yeah.
And that's how they're making a profit. That has nothing to do with how much, and has nothing to do with how much they pay their fighters in terms of them, whether their market share is dropped or not. That has nothing to do with it. Jake's just poking the bear.
Just putting something out there.
Yeah, just,
That's okay.
And
it's okay.
In terms of the Saudi money coming in,
great.
I think that they are making a push in sports, period. Whether it's golf, whether it's NASCAR.
You have to appreciate not only the Saudi businessmen that are trying to make that push. I appreciate that the PFL is making moves to better themselves.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate a business that's trying to grow and trying to, you're going in debt because, in some ways that money's got to be paid back, or you giving a percentage of your company, but you got to appreciate someone that's willing to do those things to grow.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to talk about, but the thing is, it's not verified by anybody. That's the thing. There's so many things that we've heard from the Bellator and PFL and the Saudi money coming in. We've heard it all. And until the actual deal is signed, it could fall apart. I'm going to be using an example. There was an article that I read because BET, there was a company coming in trying to buy BET from Viacom. It was pretty much supposed to be done. Done deal.
No, that was what's his name? Tyler Perry.
Okay. Well, the deal fell apart.
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
And they were in intense negotiations for a long time. Nothing's done until it's signed on the dotted line. So until then, business as usual. That's the way this works around here. All right, next.
True.
What else you got for us?
All right, well, let's look at some speculative fights here. Nothing is confirmed by any means, but Dos Anjos is calling for a fight with Dustin Poirier. And I would imagine at 170, but he doesn't clarify.
If I'm Dustin, I don't think there's any reason for me to fight him. Why would I go up to 70 and fight you? I might as well just stay at 55. Dustin's one fight away from a title shot. And I think he's going to kind of always be that way. One fight away for a title shot or in a title shot. If he goes up to 70, I mean, you're number one, number two on the list, at 155. You might as well go up and fight somebody in the number one, number two spot there. Can you pull up the rankings for 170? I don't see. I'd like to see. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, you look at those guys. I think Bilal would end up mauling him. Just he's physically big and strong. Physically big and strong.
Gilbert Burns also called Dustin out, saying that's a fight he would really want to have. That's the fight I want, because I want Dustin Poirier. You know, I would think that when you're looking at RDA calling him out, it's at 170.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it could be 155, but I don't think RDA wants to go back to 155. So
Yeah. You know, what about Ian Machado? Ian Gary. Him and
Against
that'd
who?
be a fun fight.
against who?
Against
Poirier?
Dustin, yeah. That'd be a fun fight. I mean, he's just not ranked high enough, but I mean, he's got a mouth on him. He's become the villain these days. You know, and Dustin's very soft spoken and goes out there and gets it done with his fist. I mean, it'd be a fun fight. Physical size though might go to Ian Gary. He seems tall. He's got a big body frame for the weight, but
Got a big body frame.
you know,
At least if you're fighting Dos Anjos, you know you're fighting a guy that's closer to your size.
yeah,
You know, a guy that fought at 155 for a long time.
yeah, I get it, but
I don't know.
nah. I mean, Gilbert Burns would be a fun fight too. Stuff the takedowns, try to keep it on the feet. Gilbert's fast. He's got good hands. You know, that'd be kind of a fun fight. Give her a bite down on his mouthpiece. I don't see him fighting Colby Covington. Him fighting Kamaru Usman. I don't see that happening.
Josh, you don't see a potential between Poirier and Colby?
No,
You don't think with the bad blood there
No.
that fight
I
is
don't-
like more
I don't
likely
see
than
it.
any?
I don't see it happening anytime soon. Colby's gonna fight for the title next, and then by the time that fight gets done, it'll be another year. I don't see it happening.
That makes it way more enticing for Poirier to go up though, right?
If Colby wins the title, yeah.
Of course, yes, of course.
Well, first off, if Colby wins the title, Dustin's not going to get that shot.
Yeah. He's coming off of a
They're
loss.
not going to take a guy who's ranked third in the lightweights and not ranked at all in the 170s and put him into a title
Yeah.
fight. So that's not happening.
I don't know. We've seen stranger things happen though, John. You know that.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Just calling that one out.
All right, next.
All right. In the spirit of dream fights or potential fights or calling people out, Masvidal says he would like, or
No,
he thinks
Gaethje.
that Gaethje should defend the BMF title against Masvidal. So Masvidal saying defend that BMF belt against me, and I think he's half serious. In the quote, he says, "I think he should defend it against me at 70. That is what should happen. If I was to come back to the sport, that's a big if. That's something in the future. I never knock coming back to fighting because I love fighting. So kind of, you know, I think half serious there.
It would be a fun fight. I just don't. There's no reason. Gaethje's one step away from another title shot.
Gaethje's sitting at number 2. Okay, he's got Charles Oliveira in front of him, and then the champ. Why would he take someone on at 170? He's never fought at 170. That's not his weight class. He fights at 155. He's comfortable at 155. Look, and Justin Gaethje is not a small.
No, he's
55er.
not.
He's a big 55er. So he could definitely do it. You know, he could go up to 170, but I think wasn't the point of the whole thing with, you know, Justin against Dustin? It was that Masvidal was handing off the BMF title now, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's like, it's gone. Stop. You retired. There's no reason. You're always going to have that itch to come back, and I love Masvidal, but I just don't see this happening.
I mean, if I'm Justin, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for him. After I get my next title shot, I would probably do one last fight for the BMF against Masvidal. That'd be a money fight. Say my goodbyes. Like my retirement fight would be to fight, and then that gives Masvidal time to get even more fat. You know, and be out of the sport, a little bit longer while Justin's been training for title shots. You know, so fights for the title. If he comes up short, you know, then what he does is then he calls out Masvidal and says, "Okay, let's go ahead, let's do this BMF fight. Put you right back into the mix. Talk, buzz around your name again, and then say farewell. You know, after that fight, you got 2 money fights back to back. You got the title shot, then you get the." Then you got.
What if you win the title?
Then there's no reason to fight him. Yeah, there's more money, a lot more money. I wonder if they're giving him an upgrade on the BMF belt like you would in the regular title. Not as much probably, but there's got to be something. Or is it just
Maybe
the
for
belt?
that fight. For that fight.
I'm gonna go buy myself a BMF belt. Throw it up right behind me. All right, guys. What else you got for us, Dave?
Look at this one right here. Paige VanZant reveals that her first day in OnlyFans was more profitable than her entire MMA career.
Yeah.
And she was asked about the OnlyFans thing, and she said it's hard to walk away when it's that kind of money. So I figured, in the spirit of OnlyFans weighing in and Paige VanZant's comments, I'd get your reaction to this.
I know what she signed for when she came over from, what's the name of Mikey Ice's company?
I don't know.
It's pretty much exactly what OnlyFans is. And she had left that company and came over to OnlyFans. They signed her to a very lucrative deal, just to sign. And then on top of that, within her first 48 hours, she gave away her page for free. Well, what happens is when you do that, 400,000 people went onto her page in the first 24 hours. 400,000 people. When you enter in, you have to enter in your email. She then took that and she had a clothing line, and then she went and she sent out discounts for her clothing line to all those 400,000 emails, and a handful of them bought stuff, more than a handful bought stuff. And that made her a lot of money too. So not only did she get the sign, she signed, she made the signing bonus money for signing with OnlyFans. Then she just sold all her merchandise, which is marketing her. And she hasn't put down one picture or anything on her OnlyFans just yet. Like she, you know what I mean? Like she hasn't done anything for anyone on OnlyFans. She hasn't done, in the first 48 hours, she killed it. She killed it. I mean, I know what the numbers are, or at least I've been told what the numbers are. And she crushed it. She crushed it. Just insane. Good for her. Look, there's life after fighting. You just got to figure out what your niche is, you know, and get out there and do it. And I like that she does a little bit of stuff too with her husband, Austin Vanderford. They do like a little cooking show in their aprons with nothing on. It's kind of funny, you know. But and then they're talking about starting a podcast that's only available on their OnlyFans. They're finding ways. They're finding ways to make money, and they don't have to rely on fighting. They don't have to be sucked into the way the sport is, you know. So good for them. Good for them. I think it's good. John?
I think it's good. Look, you got it. It's a matter of what's important to you. You know, there's a lot of guys, you know, if you're Austin Vanderford, a lot of guys couldn't handle it. You know, he can handle it. She can handle it.
Well,
as long as they're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
This is the reason why I feel like they can handle it. They're two peas in a pod. They're fucking nerds. Like when you get around them, they're like nerds. They're so fun to be around. Like I've been out gambling with Austin and her, and you know, even though like they do well, you know, he does well with Bellator, his fights, and she does well with OnlyFans, and her when she was fighting bare knuckle, she got paid a lot. She did really well. But even though when we were out there gambling, it was like they consider themselves like on a budget. Like, hey, no, we're just going to spend this much. If we lose it, we lose it. I mean, luckily we won. I mean, we won close to $1,000, both of us. It was a good night of gambling. But we had fun.
That's
man.
why you didn't have to go on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
You won $1,000.
we had a good time. We had a good time. You know, gambling, having a good time, and they're good people. You know, I think that they stay attached to the hip. He's playing video games, and she's, you know, either sitting side by side with him, you know, just texting away or giving him a hard time or fucking with them. So they're fun. They're hilarious. They like to bust each other's balls. It's a fun little thing. So they've got something good, and it's good to see. It's nice to see, because in a day and age when these dumbass fighters are chasing fucking porn stars and supermodels or whatever it is, that you know is not going to probably end well. This guy, he's been able to lock down someone who is who brings in the revenue and is very marketable and knows what she's doing. Good for her. Yeah. So, all right, next.
All right, hold on. You know, I'm going to say this then, because I was looking. You really got to give it up, because Dave brought up last time Ronda Rousey possibly coming back to the UFC. Schaub came out saying, look, she was offered more money than God, you know, and turned it down and stuff. But I don't know if you follow it. Since I have a farm, I follow Browsy Acres with Travis. And Travis has turned himself into a farmer. He's at the farmer's market selling he's got Wagyu beef and all the stuff. And he's doing good. And this is what I'm trying to compare is they're doing it in different ways. But ex-fighters fighting is something that, you know what, they're passionate about. And I love what Rhonda and Travis are doing. So I just want to say congratulations to your success with Browsy Acres. You guys are doing great.
Good stuff. All right. What else for us, Dave?
All right. I think since we have a little bit of time, I just want to throw this one off you. This might fall flat, but I'm kind of just winging it here. But I was on X the other day, and Anik had posted a poll. I think it was last night. Anik had posted a poll, John Anik, and he was asking about, and Gane had realized his dream as becoming the interim champion, but who would be the first French-born undisputed champion? And you know, just the whole thing around the interim title. Why are we not just calling these people a champion? I know undisputed and interim have different meanings, and I do understand all of that. But when they win the title, are we not just calling them the champion? Like, aren't we at a point where we're just calling that you were a world champion?
No,
and why are we not? And why are we not? If that's the case,
the truth is they're not. Unfortunately, there's somebody else that is sitting there in that space that they did not beat. Now, you know, when you sit there and you talk about the belt, the UFC does it all the time. You know, Bellator has done it. You know, they didn't do it very often, and then all of a sudden they started doing it a little bit. This interim title is because you'll have a fighter who is the champion, and they get hurt, and they're not going to be there for a while. So you know what? We don't want to have the division stall out. You have, like, you know, when Josh is talking about, hey, you know, Pavlich should just sit there. Don't take another fight right now. All of that is based upon, well, you only get so many chances, and you're taking a chance of losing, which will take you out of that title picture. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so it's understandable why Josh, you know, says, you know, just sit there. So a lot of guys are going to sit instead of fight. So the UFC will bring in, all right, we're going to do an interim title. So that way they can bring two good fighters together. It's for a title, but it's really not the title. It's a title. It's kind of like the BMF thing. When you're looking at the interim title, that person's not the champ. Mm-hmm. You can sit there and say whatever you want. When they put interim champion in front of it, it means nothing. So when you sit there and you say, you know, oh, we have a title fight between the undisputed champion, you know, whoever you want to pick, we'll say John Jones, right? John Jones is the undisputed heavyweight champion of the UFC. And we'll say that Cyril Gane has won a interim belt between Gane and Spivac. So Gane has now got the interim belt. When Gane walks into that cage, he's not the interim champion. There is no interim champion. That shit goes away. It's not like John can win the interim championship. The only one that can win a title is Gane. John is defending his title, but Gane can win the undisputed title. It's not like John Jones can win the interim title. It's not there. It means nothing. We've given it too much life when honestly it's a promotional tool to try to keep a division going.
So yeah,
no, what it is?
Hear Josh's thoughts.
Maybe. So what it is, like you have someone who's obviously the champion. Normally, is when you bring an interim, it's because the other person's sitting out. So that he's the real champ, he or she. Then the person that comes in that wins the interim title, it's a placeholder. It's a placeholder to guarantee that person is next in line for a title shot. It makes it easier for when that champ is not going to fight, or he's injured, or he wants to hold out for more money, whatever it is it gives whoever is going to be fighting, like, hey, I'm the interim champ, which means I'm guaranteed my title shot as long as I keep the interim title. That lets them know, because otherwise you're just floating around. And then the fighters down below are like, look, the fucking real title's not going to happen. Then what the fuck am I fighting for? They start getting frustrated. You finally got to the top and this shit's happening. So then they put the interim title there to keep those fighters as a placeholder. Also, too, to keep them motivated. Look, I'm defending this belt. I'm the champ. You know, like it makes them feel like they're the champ, but it keeps them motivated to defend that scrap metal. You know, it makes them feel motivated. And I think it's a good ploy.
As simple as it gets. Do you remember when Justin Gaethje fought Tony Ferguson? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And Justin beats Tony, and they give him the belt. And what did he do with it? He laid it on the ground. Why?
Oh, because Habib was the champ.
Because Habib Nurmagomedov is the champ. This isn't the championship belt. He's got the championship belt, and that's who I want to fight next. Because I want to beat the champion.
And so then,
just the way it is.
So then, don't you look at that whole thing and you say, like, you think, like, well, this is really dumb. Then it's kind of dumb because it really is just a way for me as the promoter to say, buy my pay-per-view because it's a title fight.
Yes, it is.
And so, but it hurts the quality and the value behind.
The casual fan at home doesn't
so?
realize that though, Dave. Like you didn't know what it was.
No. I know what I want to be clear. I know what interim title is.
No, I get it.
No, we understand. You know, we understand that, but the significance behind it
is
when you first started saying this, you were saying, shouldn't they be recognized?
No.
You're not the fucking champ. You didn't beat the champ.
Yeah.
The only time that you don't have to beat the champ to become the champ is when the champ walks away and retires.
Yeah, when it's a vacant.
And it's vacant. Now two guys fight for the undisputed. Okay, you're the champ. Yeah, you didn't win it from the champ, but he walked away. In these situations, the champ isn't walking away. He's there.
I'm getting into like semantics then, right? And I mean, I know I am, but I'm just trying to like play devil's advocate.
No,
and say,
go ahead.
You are. Well, I was gonna say, right? Tony Ferguson was interim lightweight champion. Tony Ferguson had the title, right? When you take undisputed, because you don't when you look on the UFC's website, it doesn't say undisputed lightweight champion. It says lightweight champion, right? Tony Ferguson had the title of lightweight champion, right? He just happened to have interim in front of it because that's what the UFC decided to put there.
Okay, but hold on. If you look when you see Tony's name, and if Tony was still the interim champion, he's below who?
The champ.
He's below the champ. He's not next to.
Yeah.
He's not right with. He's below. It'll say IC, interim champion, because he's not the champ.
Yeah.
He's like the number, just like what Josh was talking about. You're the number one. You've got the next title shot in line as long as you don't lose if we're going to fight you again because the real champ is out that long. Okay. Yeah. But you're not the champ.
Dave, it really is. There's two reasons to do it. One is to keep the fighters below motivated, and two is to sell pay-per-views.
Yep.
Is to have a title on the line. I mean, they did the BMF belt because some of the guys weren't fighting consistently. They had the championships. You got to fill in those pay-per-views, and I got to have something there that's marketable to do it. That's what you have. So for the promotion, it's to make money, and for the fighters to keep them motivated. Like, hey, I'm going for this until this whole title shit gets figured out, whether the fighter's holding out for money or whether he's injured or whatever. You know, just can't do it. It doesn't matter. Just like it keeps those fighters below motivated. Like, okay, look, the weight class is still moving on. I have something to work for. That's the title that I'm looking for right now. Once I get the interim title, I'm guaranteed my title shot when they get their shit worked out. You know, because even when you win the interim title, you're still getting paid. I believe, at least I know that someone has. They get paid that title money. I am the interim champ. Anytime you put champion around my name in my contract, I get paid pay-per-view points. I get paid bonuses. I get paid all certain stuff for fighting for the title. That's the interim title. It's not because I'm ready to fight for the real one. You're not. The promotion's not ready to let me fight for the real one, or the fighter's not ready for me to fight for the real one. But I'll fight for this one. I can still get the money. You get that money that's in your contract. So it keeps those fighters motivated and pushing towards their goal, and it doesn't hold up the division, and it makes it easier for the promotion to just use that as their interim title to make money, to sell pay-per-views, to keep the fans interested. That good enough?
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. I knew going in that was going to be the position you held. I kind of knew that was going to be the position you held. But like when I just think that for the fighter, that is not. There's no. It's more damaging than it is good, because can you retire on having held an interim championship and feel that you accomplished everything you set out to do? become a world champion.
I think some people can.
And-
Some fighters can.
Yeah. Well,
I think I think some fighters can. Some fighters can take that title home and go, look, during the time that I was the champion, the champ wasn't available.
The champ wasn't there. He wasn't there for me to fight.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't up.
So
it wasn't
all I
my
could do
fault.
is fight. All I could do was fight
Yeah.
everyone they put in front of me, and I did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I look at like Cyril Gane, right? He was the interim champ until Ngannou got his thing, until he got his thing figured out what he was going to do. But I look at it, once Ngannou walked away, he's not in the sport. He's not in that sport. He's not in that organization anymore. So technically, I looked at him as being the champ. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Look, that guy's not even in my promotion anymore. So if I was Cyril Gane, I'd be like, look, I fought for the interim title. I won the interim title. I'm the interim champ. I'm the champ. I look at it because Ngannou walked away. He's not even available for me to fight anymore. Now, when he fought John, I know it was an interim title, but I would still hang my head and be like, you know what? The champ wasn't available for me to fight. I fought for the interim title. I beat the best guy they put in front of me at the time.
Well, hold on. Cyril Gane won the interim title.
Yeah.
Then he lost to the undisputed champion in Francis Ngannou.
Oh, that's right. I thought he was the interim champ when he fought John Jones.
No.
Okay, that's where I was wrong. Okay.
Then when he fought John Jones, we had a vacant title
Mm-hmm.
because the UFC stripped when Ngannou walked away from it. And so you had John Jones against Cyril Gane for the undisputed heavyweight title based upon it being vacant.
Got it. I mean, there's times where I feel like you could hold your head up high and be like, okay, I was the champ, depending on the circumstances. With Habib, like, he was still coming back to fight, so I can see why Justin did that. But if the fighter ends up walking away as the champ or doing whatever, it's tough. Like, the guy wasn't available for me to fight, so what am I going to do? Who knows? All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our... Go ahead. Do you have something else?
no, I was just gonna say I think I have an argument there. I would love to hear the fans in the comments their take on it, because I think you'll find people siding with me.
No.
On this, I think you're gonna find people siding with me on it. I think for sure.
What are they siding with you on?
I think the light being called a lightweight champ, an interim lightweight champion or an undisputed lightweight champion, you are the same. You are in the same position.
God, no, you're not in
No.
the same position.
I think you're in the same position.
You've lost your fucking board.
That's because the only people that will agree with you that are like WWE noobs. That's it. Do you remember when they had the? Do you remember when they had the? It was you were the ultimate. You were the heavyweight champion, right, for the WWF and WWE. But then they had the Intercontinental champion or whatever it was for the smaller guys,
Yep.
like Macho Man, Randy Savage. Like, it was the smaller guys. They can never be the world. They can never be the heavyweight champ because they were the smaller ones. That's really what it was.
Yeah, but that was to do with like the coverage of like you're the Intercontinental, so like you're the you're not the world champion, but like you're the champion of like
what's Intercontinental?
Yeah, I know, I get what you're saying.
another made up title like the interim title.
I know. He's right there, Dave. Dave's going, I know, shut up.
All right, guys. Well, hey, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the little bell, get notifications. We drop our shows randomly here and there. And every once in a while, I'll throw out a Punk's opinion. Every once in a while, Big John will do something. A little story time, a little something. We got to do something with John here soon. Hey, and then I also go to WayneInMerch.com, and pick up some of our apparel. It is going to be sweater season real soon. We got the hoodies up. Hoodies are up, my man. And I'm looking forward to wrapping one around my big fat body. I'm getting fat, John. I'm getting fat.
Well, you're called the pork.
The pork Thomson. All right, John, take us away.
Hey, for everyone out there, hope you enjoyed. We will see you soon. Later.